Okay, hi guys, welcome to the third episode of my inquest on whether or not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the man for the Manchester United job. I know you're probably on this video because you're now starting to doubt Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You're asking yourself, is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the man for the job? Well, the short answer to that one is no. So stick with me as I uncover the numbers behind the numbers that actually show you that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has got no clue, and that dude is not going to get us anywhere either this season or next season. I'll be conducting the analysis in different parts, but right now I'm just taking a look at all the matches that he has coached and actually seeing if there are any trends that we can use to determine whether or not he's going to survive. So if you're really now curious to know what the club has in store for us now in the summer and in the future, stay tuned because it's the critique and I'm about to get down to business. This week I will start with the refereeing decisions. We were analyzing whether or not refereeing decisions are playing a part in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's initial run, and the Bournemouth and Manchester United match shows that this actually continued in the worst way. If you notice, 2 games before the Manchester United and Chelsea match, I think against West Ham, both our goals came from refereeing decisions. So that's points they're accumulating for us. Now looking at the Bournemouth versus Manchester United match, in the 69th minute you actually see Eric Bailey putting his boot on Daniels at the shoulder or face, somewhere there, and the referee did not give a penalty, so that actually gave Manchester United an advantage. You also notice in the 72nd minute when Lukaku scored the goal that actually just closed the match off, he was on an offside position. So in the first 3 matches of the 6 contestable refereeing decisions that actually decided the match, either helped Manchester United score a goal or stopped the opposition from getting an opportunity to score against Manchester United, Manchester United got the decision in 5 out of the 6 situations. A whopping 83.33% support for Manchester United from the ref in ways that actually affected the match. So things were going well for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer there. The point of me actually looking at aspects such as these is we want to see is when the support from the referee in terms of decision making goes down, is that where Manchester United started losing. So I'm looking at refereeing decisions and everything else. Okay, as I promised before, we're going to be analyzing to try and determine whether or not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can actually solve problems as they arise in a match. In the Bournemouth match, it was no different, as he managed to not do anything about the fact that Matic was being beaten in the air and Manchester United was being beaten from corner kicks all of the time. Bournemouth actually won those duels from the corner kick 100% of the time, and one of those situations led to the goal from Ake. Also, Bournemouth's 3 big chances of the match all came from the wing, 2 from Shaw's wing and 1 from Ashley Young's wing. So continuing the theme from the first 2 episodes where we noticed Ashley Young being dribbled past more than 15 times in 135 minutes, this again continued. So we have a coach who actually benefits from the ref and does not actually show that he's able to solve problems that arise within a match. Okay, another thing that we actually noted in the first 2 episodes against Cardiff and Huddersfield is that Manchester United's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does not have tactics that actually work properly. All the goals that we have scored, as many as they were, if you notice, were not scored as a result of some deliberate strategy. They didn't look like they were the end result of some really thoughtful football, some really creative football, some really crafty football. Players just found themselves shooting the ball and getting deflections into the net, etc. That's why I actually brought up that metric where I'm checking the number of goals that we have scored as a result of being assisted by other teams and goals that we actually score out of our own creativity. In this match, he tried to employ 4 different tactics in the same match. While I'm for many attacking modes, I want to see them working, and the one that's actually ripping fruit for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer right now is playing through the middle. So as far as the first 3 games are concerned, we've noticed that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's main attacking threat is coming from the middle, and the main provider of that attacking threat is Paul Pogba, and there's no one who can actually replace him, because if you notice against Bournemouth, he had that cheeky lob that actually led to the goal. That type of craftsmanship is probably what was helping Ole Gunnar Solskjaer get away with things a bit there. Really, this dude does not have a clue. Anyway, the first attacking mode that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer actually tried, if you want to know about attacking modes, check my first 2 episodes, was going down the wings. In the first 3 matches, going down the wings has not helped for Manchester United. So we're going to be trying to see in the summer if they're actually going to find us wingers who can actually penetrate via the wing. We're looking for wingers who can either cross the ball, make use of Lukaku's head, or actually dribble past the players. As for what we have right now, Sanchez, Martial, and maybe Rashford when he plays on the wing, Mata, Lingard, nobody can actually perform that role. So as far as attacking down the wings is concerned, Manchester United is dead. And as for the third match, Cardiff, Huddersfield, Bournemouth, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had not managed to solve that. Through the middle, it was giving us something, but not in a clean way. And if you actually stick with me as I investigate game by game, you shall notice that this lack of having a tactic that works flawlessly and smoothly is what has led us into the current run where we've only won 2 out of 10. And trust me, those trends are actually not going to change. The third attacking mode that Manchester United tried was actually hitting the long ball from the defense or from the fullbacks to the attack. Once again, people like Lukaku and Rashford do not have the type of skill that's required to make use of that, and we noticed Manchester United trying that long ball about 5-6 times without success. So that's the third tactic. The fourth tactic, which is a tactic that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer actually used for the first time in his tenure at Manchester United, was actually crossing from the inverted wingers. We noticed in the Bournemouth match, Lingard did that a lot, about 2, 3, 4 times, and actually worked. So I want to actually analyze to see if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer then continued using that strategy where he crosses in from the inverted winger, like those in swingers from somewhere in the middle of the final third. We're going to see if he's going to do that in the next match, since there's actually something that he can use along side, putting the ball through the middle. If actually we notice that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did not go and then try to use that attacking mode, it means that he's not actually as observant as he's supposed to be as a coach, because when you find something that works, you should use it. So we'll continue to analyze the attacking modes, but as for the 3 games that he was in charge of Manchester United, up to that point he didn't have one that was working properly, except going through the middle where he was gaining some luck. And this is bad for Manchester United going into the future, because when you don't have a tactic you can really rely on, it now actually comes down to the luck that you get, and when it runs out, you have a run like the one we have currently. The thing that I've noticed is that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer seems to have a thing against Jose Mourinho signings. If you look apart from Matic, not much action has been going on for others. Matic and Lindelof. Bailey, Lukaku, Sanchez have spent a lot of their time on the bench. Bailey was actually called in yesterday against Chelsea, which is actually a good thing to see. So this pattern here where a former coach's players are being benched shows that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer might actually have an issue against them. I mean, to be honest, you can't really compare Bailey to the likes of Jones, Smalling. He's actually better than them, but you should actually give the team a chance, or the players a chance to show what they can do. Also, if you notice, Lukaku hasn't been playing that much. Lukaku is one of the best strikers in Manchester United. He's one of the best strikers in the Premier League, but he's on the bench. Also see Sanchez. Sanchez is on the bench for reasons that I'll discuss in future episodes, which I'd like to call footballing reasons. Sanchez is not actually underperforming because it's not that good. It's underperforming because of a series of unfortunate events that actually have come his way of as a Manchester United player. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going the route of the academy. I noticed this in the first match when he started with Lingard, Rashford and Martial. And one thing I'll tell you about this route is it's not going to get us anywhere. Perez tried it at Real Madrid last season and it didn't work. Zidane actually showed that he's a master coach, a coach who knows football, by opting to leave Real Madrid and watching them go down with the child policy, if I can actually call it that. Manchester United is also going down that route. I mean, if you don't have a youth squad like that of Ajax, drop that. But it looks like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is looking to gain some brownie points from big old Ed by actually playing these kids. And this is probably one of the reasons why he actually got that contract from Ed Woodward, because Ed Woodward is not really interested in buying players. The Glazers just want to take money from Manchester United. So why not actually hire a coach that will listen to that philosophy and not give you problems? So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's preference of these kids like Martial, Lingard, Pereira, etc. over the more established players is going to ensure that it actually goes nowhere, because at the big stage you need the big players, and the big coach will make those players work. I know you're going to point out to the fact that some of them were suffering under Jose Mourinho, but I can actually point that to Ed Woodward and the Glazers as to why those players were suffering, simply because the board did not allow Manchester United to have a full system under Mourinho. They didn't allow Mourinho to complete his footballing philosophy, but that's another story for another episode. I'm actually going to be comparing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Mourinho in the future. But as for these three players, the fact that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is actually not playing them shows that as a coach he's got some issues. He's more interested in politics than football, and this is actually going to catch up with them. I'm going to remind you of this in the future when we're in a game that we actually need these big players and we don't perform as a result. I mean, actually we don't even have to go far. Lingard is still starting big time under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but if you notice, he hasn't scored since December. Not sure about which competition, but it's been a long time. So these are some of the signs and symptoms that show us that we are going nowhere under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he's not the man for the job. Okay, looking at the attacking actions that we have been discussing in the first two episodes, this game was no different. Small teams were continuing to pile the pressure against Manchester United and forcing it to defend. This match, there were 27 attacking actions compared to 31 in the last and 29 in the first. So on average, small teams were managing to execute attacking actions against us about 28 times per match. This actually points to the fact that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not very good when it comes to defensive tactics, and actually just lets the football flow into the final third without any particular strategy being used to stop the flow. So basically what this translates into is big chances. Now, for those who have been watching from the first episode, attacking actions constitute either long throws in the final third, free kicks in the final third, crosses, through passes and shots on goal. To note are the through passes, which increased to 5, means we're being penetrated through the middle, and this supports the statistic that I talked about in the last episode, where 66.67% of the big chances created by by Cardiff and Huddersfield came to the middle. In the middle you find Matic and Fred, and we'll know that Matic and Fred are actually not very good at covering the back four. So in this case, in this match against Bournemouth, you notice that we had 7 crosses coming in from Young's side, and think about 4 or 5 crosses coming in from Luke Shaw. So Young continues to show that he's very porous, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer again has not done anything to deal with this. So as the stats keep going up and up and up, and as the problems keep compounding and not being solved, you will notice that Manchester United will continue to be in a weak position, as coaches will actually be able to figure out what to do against Manchester United. They actually know that actually Young is a weak point, and they go after him. So as for this match, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did not manage to reduce the number of attacking actions that were occurring against Manchester United, and this shows that he actually is not able to solve problems, which is not good for Manchester United. As we alluded to in the first 2 episodes, a keen eye would have noticed that Manchester United was not controlling the centre circle, and this was the case against Bournemouth. The heat map for Manchester United showed that there were not many touches around the centre circle, showing that we were not bossing that midfield. Now, if you look at the top teams like Manchester City, their heat map will have a lot of red around that centre circle or any particular wing that they're attacking through that match. And so this adds to the list of problems that Manchester United have not solved, that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has not solved tactically. It would be interesting to see if he tries to address this in the summer, as between Pogba, Matic, McTominay and Fred, no one has actually managed to help us boss that midfield. I don't know, is it a result of the players or it's a result of the fact that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's strategy has got some issues with it. I know Fred actually is a messiah type of player, not supposed to boss the midfield, but we've got Pogba, Matic and McTominay who are supposed to fulfill those roles. But to this point, Manchester United has not been able to take control of the match from the centre circle, and this actually serves to make us less potent. And I will show you in the analysis to come in future episodes how this is actually a major problem. When especially we come up across a team like Manchester City, we can actually boss the midfield. If you notice the Manchester Derby, Manchester City's heat map actually showed them bossing the midfield, and this allowed them to launch attacks from way closer to the goal than we could, and this actually gave them advantage that led to them winning the match. Another particular area of concern is Manchester United's failure to create anything or to convert anything from set pieces, be they corner kicks or be they free kicks. In the first 3 matches, you actually noticed Manchester United only managing to score a goal from a corner kick after Kachunga had headed the ball to Matic. So it was actually an assisted goal from Kachunga. It was an error. What worries me is Manchester United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer keeps employing the same strategy from set pieces, and this strategy is not working. If you notice in the game against Bournemouth, they actually managed to win all corners in the air 5 out of 5 times. It means they were executing strategy on set pieces that was actually reaping fruit. And Ake actually was testament of the fact that when you've got a free kick strategy or set piece strategy that works, you can actually get something from there. So set pieces are another type of attacking mode that some coaches pay attention to and actually get right, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has not managed to get that right. So I mean, do you want to be in the hands of a coach who has so many issues that is failing to actually solve? Right now, the dude is actually looking kind of average, and it does not bode well for the future. So set pieces are another thing that we can actually forget as a source of goals, as he has shown in the first 3 matches under his tenure that he can't do anything about. And I'll be analyzing again in the future, if you watch the future episodes, to see if he actually managed to do this. The whole point of analyzing the same aspects game in, game out is to actually try and determine whether or not this coach is capable of evolving into something better. And after we actually analyze all his matches from when he signed up for Manchester United until the summer, and we notice that the same problems keep cropping up, then we get into the summer and we see that he's not making moves to actually solve those problems, you'll know that you're in real trouble, because you're with a coach who's actually working at the peak of his powers and is not able to do anything more for the club. Okay, another worrying aspect about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is coaching approach and coaching style that we actually discussed in the 2 earlier episodes, is his inability to affect the match from the bench. Up to this point in the Bournemouth match, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had made all of the substitutions that were available to him. That's 9, and of the 9, only Lukaku had actually made some sort of impact and scored a goal, which actually was an offside. So if the refs had actually spotted that offside, it would have been 100% record of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer not being able to bring positive change to the match from the bench. Now this is very important because plans don't always go accordingly, so you need to have players coming off the bench. You need to have a strategy which you can use to actually integrate those players from the bench to ensure that they give the team a positive impact. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has not managed to do this. So it's like throughout the season we'll be playing with 11 players and not 14 like other coaches. And if another coach is to make a move and bring in substitutions that will actually affect their game positively, Manchester United will not be able to do anything about that. So that's another bad sign for Manchester United, that we have a bad coach in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So now looking at the third match, what aspects actually improved a bit? You notice that the ratio of what I call fluke goals versus cold-blooded goals improved to 50%. What I mean by fluke goals are the goals that we score as a result of incidents like bad decisions from the referee or the other players making a mistake. So as per the third match, of the 12 goals that Manchester United had scored, 6 were coming from actually Manchester United and its own creativity, and the other 6 were coming from referee errors, like the one I noted about Lukaku being offside in the 72nd minute against Bournemouth. So that stat improved slightly. What I'm going to do going into the future is to see that at the point when we actually started performing poorly, what is the ratio of fluke goals to cold-blooded goals? If the ratio of fluke goals actually goes down and then the team also starts performing poorly, then you'll know that it's an important metric that I'm actually looking at, and we'll continue to actually analyze that. Another stat that improved considerably was the number of big chances, even though the big chances all came from the wing, which showed weakness by Manchester United through the wing. The big chances reduced from 6 a match to 3. So in the first match it was 12 big chances after 2 matches, and in the third match it was 3. So we'll actually try to see if this actually bounced back up in the next matches against Manchester United, or actually if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer managed to keep this down. And we'll also compare to see the trend of big chances versus the trend in terms of wins, goals, etc. This will give us an insight exactly to how sustainable the performance that we're getting from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is. Like I said, we're not looking at the score lines, we're looking at the nature of the score lines, the nature of the wins and losses to see what we can expect from Ole going into the future. Okay, other stats that actually improved under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the fact that big chances were no longer being created from crosses. So even though there were many crosses in the match, which were 11 coming from both sides, but mostly from Young's side, you notice that none of them resulted in big chances. So we'll see if this actually continues. Another issue that is of importance is that in the Bournemouth match, none of the big chances were actually created by shots on target by way of the foot. We noticed that in the first 2 matches, of the 6 shots on target, 5 actually resulted in big chances, which looked bad for Manchester United because it said something about our defense. I've already touched on the fact that our defense has problems, but in the Bournemouth match, all of the shots on target did not actually lead to big chances. We'll actually analyze to see whether this stayed there. So the difference between the third match and the first and second is that there are actually some aspects which improved under Ole, and we'll keep a close eye on this as we go throughout the series. So that is it for the analysis of Manchester United versus Bournemouth. As you can see in this match, some of the metrics actually showed a bit of improvement. So we'll see as we analyze the rest of the matches if this is going to improve. The idea is that we will catch up with Manchester United in the summer as we'll have analyzed all the matches, and then together we'll actually see and discuss whether or not the business that he conducts in the summer is actually going to address the issues that we'll have picked up. As you notice, we're not really looking at the score lines, we're looking at what the score lines mean. We're looking at the nature of the wins, we're going to be looking at the nature of the losses, because from that type of analysis is where we will see where we're going as a club. So thanks again for watching. Just watch the previous episodes that are showing up on the screen right now so that you can get an idea of what we're talking about with the matrix. Please share and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.